Hey, this is Mark Henry here to talk to you more about the occult and the paranormal. Well, today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the tarot and card reading. So, title of this video is, Does Tarot Really Reveal the Future? Before I begin, I want to mention something that I recently opened up an Etsy store, and I am selling connecting people with attunements, which are connections to entities like spirits, angels, demons, in order to channel their energy directly so that you can get into self-development, into doing magic for various purposes. So I am steadily populating that store with spirits of different kinds. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. I'll put a link in the description. People are already enjoying it, getting things out of it. I'm getting some good reviews, so check it out. Alright, so let's move on to the video. But before I begin the video, I want to say that this video not only applies to the tarot, but all forms of cartomancy, which is card reading. So, for example, there are people who don't read tarot, but might read the playing cards. Standard playing cards, or they might read the Lenormand deck, like what I've done videos on, and plenty of others. So I don't want you to think that this only applies to tarot and standard type of things like that. So a couple things I want to mention, that there are basically two main categories that people go to get tarot readings for. One would be love, romance, sex, which, is connected to relationships. So it could be anything from someone is, let's say, having an affair on their wife, and they have a new person. Yes, this happens, and they want to know whether it's going to work out with this person on the side. Or it could be just general things like, well, is this the right man for me? Is this the one in the relationship that I am in right now? Or it could be, since we're talking about affairs, is my husband cheating? Is this happening? That is the first category. The second would be more like money, finances, employment, questions like, will I get this job? Am I going to get this inheritance? That sort of thing. And since this is a primary issue, and it is something that is important to them, of course we have to be very kind of supportive and at least open and accepting of their situation, because it obviously bothers them, even though we don't agree or approve of what they're doing and what they're telling us. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of times when card readers wanted to say, in the first example, well, the cards say that you're a bastard, right? You can't say that. It's not the right time and place. That's for him to be held accountable for. Also, I want to explain, since we're talking about the future, the first step of a tarot reading of course, is the shuffling of the cards, and why this is important. So you have somebody who has the cards in front of them, and they're shuffling, and while they're shuffling, if it's, let's say they're doing it on someone's behalf, or whether it is the person, the querent, who has the question, whether they're shuffling or not. What's happening is that the person is stating an intention through a question, and while they are stating this intention in their question inside their mind, they're shuffling the cards. Well, what does this have to do with the future, or present, or past? What's happening is that with this thing that what they're thinking about, they're trying to connect with the right timeline to be revealed during the reading. So when they start shuffling and they get the feeling, okay, that's it, then they put the cards down, and the reader will read them and reveal the truth about what's going on. So, what's happening is that, the way I see it is that when they stop, that is when the past, present, and future converge on this person's issue, and now it's time to look at what it says. So, I think there are a couple things that most tarot card readers will agree with. And of course, if you put a whole room full of people, they're going to disagree about some things. But most of the time, card readers will agree on a couple things, and that is something like, well, first, it's important to understand the past, the present, and the future. I mean, it's important to understand the past and the present in order to comprehend the future. That if you think of the past influencing the present influencing the future, and that's kind of like kind of a linear understanding of time. But if you think about that, the present is the past future, you can see how they're connected. And of course, the future is what is to come from the present, and they are all kind of connected. Now, if you were to look at things like quantum physics, they would suggest not only what I said, but that the future influences the present, which influences the past. That it goes in both directions. Which, yeah, you heard that right. It's a lot to take in. But once I understood that, it made a little bit of sense about how sometimes things happen that we don't expect, and maybe the future in some ways is supporting us. The second thing, and I think this is probably the most important and the one thing I wanted to communicate during this video, is that as the cards fall, it reveals one possible future. It is the one thing that is the most popular, if you want to think of it that way, or the one thing that stands out that the cards are trying to reveal, and it's only revealing it at that moment. So this is like a snapshot of the patterns present at this time. So there is some good things and some bad things about this. The good things would be that this suggests that the future, that the present behaviors can influence the future. So if you don't like what is being said, if you don't like the patterns that are emerging, then it is through your free will to change it and see if you get a different outcome. I've had people who didn't like what I told them about their future, and I was said it in a very constructive and kind way. But they didn't like it, and in fact, it scared them a little bit. And one of the problems with being afraid of these types of things is that if you do nothing, then this particular timeline is more likely to occur. So if you stand still and you do exactly what you're doing from this point on, this is probably what you're going to get. I think that in certain times people, of course, don't want to hear bad news, but I think that they also don't want to hold themselves accountable or responsible for their lives, and therefore, or maybe even feel powerless to do anything. So I think this could be a few different things. But in any case, I want to tell you, if you get tarot card readings or other type of card readings, or if you do this yourself, you might know this already, to take what you see, and if you don't like it, to determine what can I do to make this better. Because after all, we're making choices all the time to make our lives more the way that we want to design it. So that is my big speech for today. So what do you think? Please subscribe and like, comment if you have anything that you want to add to any of this. And again, check out my Patreon if you want to get more bonus videos. Check out my Etsy if you want to see what all of the fuss is about these attunements. So I will see you in a future video. You have a good weekend, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.